I found a game that makes you better at filmmaking. Remember that video when we built a pocket cinema camera rig together and we shot a couple scenes from my daily routine? It's totally okay if you don't, that's not important. But while I was filming that video, I realized it was a great way to practice lighting scenes. When you step on set and you need to figure out how to light a scene, the first thing you need to wrap your head around is the story. What is happening? What emotions do we need to convey? What are the characters feeling? After that, you have a good grasp on the narrative and can start painting with light. The only way to get better at lighting is to have scenes to practice on, and a lot of us aren't on set every single day, so it's hard. We don't have access to a narrative and a script to work towards, except that might actually not be true, because you do have access to a narrative and a world and a character at all times, and that's yourself. So here's the game. Every single day, you record a single frame of something that you did, except act like it's going into a feature. Design your lighting to capture the mood, how the moment felt, your focal length, color grading, everything. Design it all specifically to capture what you were feeling, what you were thinking, what you were doing in a particular moment during your day. It's almost like journaling, but instead of a paper and pencil, you're using film. So here's an example. A few nights ago, I stayed up a little later than normal writing a script, and it felt like I was getting a lot done. I want the whole room to fall into shadows except for what's being illuminated by the laptop, which is basically my face hole. To augment that light, I have an iFootage 130 B&A with an aperture lantern attachment on it with the Velcro shroud thing covering every side of it except for one little sliver, which I then put just out of frame. I don't want the room to occupy a lot of the frame. For that reason, I'm going to choose a tighter focal length to let the minimum amount of background in. That means my trusty Canon C200 and my Leica Summicron R 50mm. In this particular moment, I feel like I'm on top of the world, so I want my eye line to be directed above the camera sensor so it's looking up at me slightly. We're almost there, but I want to find a way to display my emotions without me acting, of course. I'm a terrifyingly bad actor, and I think it's important not to act in this game. The goal is to sell the moment without help from your talent, which is you. I bought an LED disco light on Amazon and fired it up at the wall behind me, and there you go. There's one moment of my life. One time it got really, really cold here in Michigan, and you know what? At the end of the day, I just wanted to take a nice hot bath, man. I want to communicate the juxtaposition of the warm water and the cold exterior, so I put my 130 B&A outside with just a reflector on it and shined it through a tree to get some texture. Then I went and found a whole bunch of candles and lit them around the tubby. I decided on a wider composition for this one, so I went and grabbed my Sigma 18-35, set up a nice symmetrical composition, and there you go, another moment of my life. One time I was at Lake Michigan during a sunset, so I set up my camera on a tripod and hit record. Sometimes you don't need to set up lights and worry about the focal length or settings or really anything. How could I possibly improve on this? At the end of the week, month, or even year, you could edit them all together and watch your daily mischief go by. Think about all the value you could get from all of that daily experience. And there's no pressure either. You can shoot, compose, grade, edit exactly the way you want to. It's your life after all.